My name's Lynn Bob. People always wonder how to pronounce my last name, but it rhymes with Saab Cars. So that's a good mnemonic device. So I'm a writer, teacher, Presbyterian minister. The main thing I do right now is writing, and it was a huge privilege to get to write for the Follow Me curriculum. Welcome. Welcome to this new curriculum on spiritual practices called Follow Me. Welcome to whatever space you're in right now, whatever relationships you're in right now. Welcome. The spiritual practice of hospitality is all about welcoming. It's all about creating a safe, peaceful place where people can encounter each other and encounter Jesus. Now, we use the word hospitality in so many ways. We have a hospitality industry, and that involves cruise ships and hotels and motels and even restaurants. That, of course, may or may not be Christian hospitality. But what makes hospitality uniquely Christian is when we're welcoming people so that they can encounter Christ there. One of the key stories of hospitality comes from the Road to Emmaus story at the end of Luke. And in that story, Jesus meets two strangers on the road. They invite him into their home, and while they're sitting at a table together, breaking bread together, Jesus, in effect, becomes the host because Jesus breaks the bread. And in that moment, they are so aware of his presence with him. Sadly, a very brief moment. Too bad it couldn't have lasted longer. But in that brief moment, they are aware of Jesus's presence. And that's what we are longing to do in Christian hospitality, is create spaces where people can be aware of Jesus's presence in the group and Jesus's presence with them as an individual as well. So we go into hospitality settings, possibly as a host. Oh, suddenly we become a guest and Jesus is the host. Or suddenly we become a guest and the people who we think we're hosting actually function as our hosts because they teach us something, or they welcome us in some way, or they encourage us, or they give us a sense of who God is because of the way that they are. So we do this guest-host switch all the time in the fluid spaces of hospitality. Mother Teresa talked about this when she talked about meeting Christ in the poor. And so she didn't have this sense that she was coming into hospitality settings where she was this great and wonderful servant of God, and she was helping people who were way below her. Instead, she entered into spaces where she experienced Jesus in the life of the people who she met with, and suddenly she was receiving from them rather than the other way around. And this is a huge part of Christian hospitality, and we are so grateful for it because this is part of how Jesus is working. Jesus is in us, with us, around us, through us. And we are so grateful for Jesus's presence that way in hospitality.